that will be that for
caution is out again. And I think it's the same situation as before. Somebody's trying to get on pit road, and they lose control up in turn 3, trying to get it under 4, quad and on pit road. And we saw it yesterday. Even the guy that won the race spun out there.
Yeah, now we're going to look at a replay here. It looked like a little contact there that Brian Scott got a little help in the left rear. I'm not sure exactly who that is coming at us.
Bit of a drop kick.
Yeah, it looked like it could have possibly been the 38 car maybe.
So it wasn't getting on pit road. It was up on the track itself, up on the banking.
Yeah, they were coming through turns 1 and 2.
Well, we'll be back with more of the action, and we mean action. And it's beginning to bubble here on this 1.366 mile track.
Oh, last week. Oh, it was
big hit for Brian Scott in the 44. The caution comes out again. Brian had issues getting out of turn 2 earlier.
Put up when I was trying to let him go inside of it, so he just wrecked us on the straightaway.
Great opportunity for Brad Keselowski, who was the first car scored a lap down.
Since we saw, it seemed like Brian Scott and the 13 got together. We'll see right. This is exiting turn 2. Gets really narrow right there. You see Tony Stewart get loose. Might make contact with the left rear of Brian Scott. It's hard to see.
Well, he did right there.
Well, he definitely made contact with the 44 right there.
Wow,
no question about that.
Yeah, I don't know if Tony was mad because he came off the corner side by side, or if he's going to say he misjudged that, but it looks like Tony was.
The best of the points says the 48 goes around Jimmy Johnson spinning and bringing out the caution.
And a big thing with that coming out, Ryan Newman was the first car lap down, so that's going to let him get back in the lead lap.
The 48, we talked all weekend. We thought this 48 about his race car. Got behind with that pit road penalty for body modifications. This is coming off turn 4, just flat, loses the race. You want to know how difficult Darlington is? That's a 6-time champion right there that just lost his race car underneath Carl Edwards.
A 3-time winner of the races here at Darlington. He was running 19th, second car that was 1 lap down, so fighting to try to get back on the lead lap. And some damage to the 48s.
Yeah, you can see he's on the apron. Look how far he's on the apron. So as he starts to get back on the racetrack, and we see cars using the apron all night long, but that transition of no banking to grabbing up on the banking, it's easy for a car to get loose. And you saw how quickly the car came around.
And really, this is 2 weeks in a row. You know, we've documented that the Hendrick Motorsports cars haven't been as fast as they've wanted to be. But at Michigan a week ago, this 48 had speed, had a pit road issue. Today, or really all weekend at Darlington, this 48 has seemed to have had some speed, but they had a pit road penalty for body modification. So it seems like they found a little speed in their car.
So he was almost stopped at the high part of the turns in 3 and 4, up into the wall there.
It's in the wall right here. And look at Matt Kenseth coming. Oh, that's not Matt Kenseth. I'm sorry. All these paint schemes.
Exactly. Josh Wise probably in the orange car that went 16 of Greg Biffle that got into the wall. You see the damage to the right side of that car.
Heavy damage to the right side. That's a little heavier than a Darlington stripe.
You know, still or the 34 goodbye. Now 34 was front bias there, depending on the last.
It matters if you were the lucky dog as hard as you hit the wall. We see right here. That's a big moment. Real loose into the corner. Heavy damage. You see how much that deck lid is broken loose and moved to the left. That's going to take some heavy repairs, Rick.
The other rule, though, that comes into play is if you bring out the caution, you're not eligible for the lucky dog. So even though he was asking if he was in front,
Clear low, come on, low, come on.
He was the reason for the caution to come out, so he would not be eligible for that. Coming off of turn number 2, the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger into the wall.
Don't see any damage on the left side.
Well, the right side's pretty damaged.
Well, I don't know. I think it might be flat tires. It's hard to say. As many times as they hit the wall at Darlington.
Got flat here.
He said he didn't hit anything, but
didn't hit anything that time, maybe.
Yeah, at some point in time.
21. Just a little bit of contact. Oh, the 21 got in the wall.
Yep.
That's just a tough place. We talked about just a while ago, we saw Kevin Harvick not make a pass when perhaps he could have. That's why. That's how narrow the exit of that corner is. That's why he was able to make that decision. These two guys back here racing for position were not able to use that discretion that Kevin Harvick was able to use.
And with this caution coming out, does that benefit the two guys who stayed up front early in this run?
Well, we had one winner and one loser. As you take one more look at the crash right there, the 41 of Kurt Busch couldn't keep his track position. He fell back to 17th. But the 20 of Matt Kenseth was 14th before the caution, 7th now with this yellow.
Another incident coming out of turn 2, and this time it's Kurt Busch in the 41. And a lot of damage to the back of the 41.
He's running 14th, Rick, and wow.
Fantastic.
You say a lot of damage. Seems like every end of that race car has made contact with something.
I think Paul Menard was in it as well. I thought I saw him driving away from the incident slow.
Well, remember, Paul Menard had the smoke coming out from behind that 27 because of tire rub, they thought. Take another look. Could the tire have gone away from Paul Menard?
Yes, the left rear tire is definitely down. If you go back and watch that left rear tire on the 27, doesn't go completely flat, but you see the air come out of it. It gets slack, gets close to the rim. As he walks up the racetrack, he catches the left rear of the 41 of Kurt Busch. Right there, you see the left rear tire is down on the 27. So Paul really had no control of his race car, and unfortunately for Kurt Busch, wrong place at the wrong time for the 41.
So that's the 9th caution of the evening. And a couple hard hits.
Is what do you do, Rick? You've run 5 hard laps on your tires. There's 40 laps to go. If you're Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, going to be very difficult to pit from the front 3 positions. But how about 4th through 8th? Maybe Hamlin, Logano, Kenseth, Elliott. Will somebody think those little bit fresher tires are important? This is a replay again. Look at the left rear tire of that 27. It starts to get slack right here. You'll see it just loses a little bit of air. You see that white Goodyear lettering kind of scrunch up on it as it goes down towards the racetrack right there. That's the air coming out of that tire, and Paul Menard loses control of his race car.
Up the racetrack he goes, catches the 41 of Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I think one thing, talking about these pit stops, you got guys
On the racetrack, Rick.
Hard hit for the 43 of Eric Almirola. Front end smashed in.
Yeah. I thought he was going to give me a little more room than that.
And you hear him talking on the radio. He was running 20th. Thought he was going to be given more room by someone that he was racing against.
Only 18 to go. Tough decisions are going to have to be made.
You see the disappointment in Eric Almirola throwing his gloves. We talked about this racetrack, how difficult it is, and he's run 349 laps only to get in an accident with 18 to go.
Not the finish that anyone is looking for. And so as he unstraps, safety crew gets to him. Let's take a look who's racing with.
So underneath Clint Boyer. Just gets loose.
You just thought the 15, I think, was going to be higher, and
got back into the back of him. That's Clint coming down the racetrack.
I think once you make contact to the wall, kind of from then on, who knows who's in control of what. So big impact. Glad he's okay.
you know what this caution does do, though, is you see another replay of it with the 43.
Inside, you and him. All clear. All clear. All clear.
I'll tell you what it does. It puts us in position to who's going to come to pit road now.
Well, they're all going to come, Rick. I think it just goes right back to the pit stops again, right back to the pit crews with 16 laps on their tires. All the leaders will be coming to pit road, and here they turn off the banking in 3 and 4. They're entering the pit road.